Very good evening, Ravi here. So today is a good day. I think I did not put my buttons properly. That's all right. So today is overall a good day. Good day in the sense while Sensex, not Sensex, I did trade both Sensex and Nifty. I think both gave some good returns. So let's really look at what happened in the Sensex today. Second. All right. So as I said, I traded both Nifty and then the Sensex. Nifty mostly not the current week expiry, but the next week expiry. So, but Sensex is the immediate one. So, if you look at Nifty, obviously there is a massive red candle, and then there was some bit of a support at about S2, and then I think S1 there was again a resistance here, but then again there was a support at S2, and eventually there was an up move. So this is basically I will spend some time on this particular thing, right? So 3 o'clock there is something that would happen. I think it's especially if somebody is doing the intraday trades, it's very what do you say important for them to understand what is happening at 3 o'clock. So I obviously I have this traders club, right? So there I did post saying that there could be something can happen. I think which definitely happened here. We will look at how do we do that, but let's look at what could be Sensex levels for tomorrow. I think that's what which is mostly important. So tomorrow, I believe the Sensex CPR is going to be narrow, not narrow. I think it's not narrow, but I think it's okay. But I saw Nifty is going to be narrow, so this is definitely narrow. We'll have to see either one of the direction. I hope it will go. But right now, let's look at Sensex. So Sensex, if you remember correctly, we had seen this is intraday high. So officially, as I said, we're not all-time high at this point of time because there was no candle that closed all-time high in a day. So I would still think 86,000 is going to be a good resistance here. I'm not expecting that's going to go there. And then, in fact, today's bottom can act like a good support. The reason is this place was actually tried not only here, we have here and also somewhere here also, but here I don't think it's lived very long. But then this zone, this is about 84,700 kind of a zone, or you can say 84,800. So that is the zone. Otherwise, the lowest is 84,501. I think either this or this would act like a good support for tomorrow. And I think, in fact, probably this would be a lot more good support. Let me draw a line so that we can actually track back tomorrow. And also, when I'm trading, these lines would be quite useful. So this one I would think, and then we also have on the top, obviously, this is the one, but then we can actually mostly safely assume about 86,000. So 86,000, I think, is all-time high, if I remember correctly. So I'm not expecting it's going to be really crossing that tomorrow, hopefully. So now I think that's what it is. Generally, Sensex is moved by Reliance. If you look at Reliance today, there were massive candles towards the fag end of the day. So generally, if you look at probably if you go to 1 minute chart, right? So you will be able to see that from 3 o'clock, you got to see some bit of a volume spike. So these generally what would happen, people would accumulate today, and then maybe tomorrow either they would dump or they would actually use that to move the market. That's what which typically would happen. And HDFC is also similar. We got to see some massive volumes towards the fag end of the day. So generally HDFC, if you look at today, the lowest it went was approximately about 988, and then from there it moved up by almost how many points? About I think about 12 points. I think that's about 1.2% or whatever, 1.08. I think that's what I saw. So I think that's what which happened with HDFC yesterday. Not yesterday, today, my bad. So this is the volumes that you need to be very careful. I think one more thing that I wanted to show you is the first 5 minutes candle. I think I did say this in one of my previous video, but I think it's important for you to know this also, right? So first 5 minutes candle, if there is a huge volume, again there is a high probability that that day there is going to be some, I think my MacBook something is happening. All right, I think there is I think I need to get this sorted out. Okay, tomorrow I'll do this. So or maybe after this call, right? So yeah, if you look at first 5 minutes candle, right? So there is okay. I think Reliance was not much of a move, but then if you look at 5 minutes, it's okay. But then HDFC definitely there are. I think there is some good volume. So let's see. But right now, I would think when it comes to Sensex, I would go with the range that I said earlier, right? So that would be where are the lines that we drew? Yeah, these lines. 84,500 and then most probably the 86, but I think this is a very long range. Even somebody takes a triangle, I don't think they'll make any money. I'm talking about the short triangle. But I think tomorrow mostly I will play here, which is about 84,700 or 800. The reason is this is above psychological 85,000. Maybe I'll start with puts and then see depending on the market moves. So I will still stay on this one. I think, as I said, this got multiple times there is a support here, right? So I think previous occasions. So let's see what's going to happen. So that's what which I will do tomorrow. What happened? I think this got expanded. I think something happened. Let me close this. No, I do not need that. Let me go back to CPR analysis. So CPR, actually, I was expecting Nifty to come in here, but somehow I'll have to check the program again. There is some problem. But as of now, I would say these are all the narrow CPR. Again, I'm not sure if any of you are using this data, but generally I do track them. I do have some positions on Bajaj Finance, definitely. HDFC Bank and GeoFin are the covered calls. These are like pure play covered calls against the stock portfolio. And then Bajaj Finance, I do have a some very messy position right now, but that's all right. So I think other stocks, I don't think I have any positions, at least for now. Weekly, we have Axis Bank. Axis Bank, I again did a pure play covered call today. Again, that is against my stock holdings that I have. Bajaj Auto, I have a position which I think I had shown yesterday. Maybe I'll show again today. And then Infosys, I do not have any positions. And then I think other things I do not have any positions. So let's look at a bit around the all-time high and then low analysis. I think I have updated the data. Let's look at. So this is all-time high. So as of now, Bank Nifty is closest to all-time high. Sensex, maybe before that we look at how far are we from all-time high. So as of now, it is still 433 days from previous all-time high. So this is 26216 versus 25986 at this point of time. And then Bank Nifty, 5 days since all-time high. We are, I think, slightly below all-time high, but I think it's not too far. And then we have Sensex 85836. So as I said, tomorrow the probability of Sensex breaching all-time high is very, very low. So that's the reason I would play 84,800 and then the maybe 85,800 also. That's about 1,000 points gap, and then let's see if it is going to make some money. I think that's the all-time high analysis. But I think overall, if you look at Bank Nifty, Sensex and Nifty, they are pretty much very close to all-time high. And then HDFC is also not very far. But let's look at, sir, we have Hero Motor Corp and then the Maruti Suzuki and then L&T, Eicher Motors, SPLF. These are all very close to all-time high. Let's look at the bottom. We'll ignore Tata Motors. I'll have to fix this when I get time. So IndusInd Bank still far from all-time high, which is 56.42, right? The trend is also below. TCS is still hovering below. And then TCS, in fact, I believe it went up today. The reason is, unfortunately, rupee reached all-time low today, above 90. I think that's probably the lifetime all-time low. which is very unfortunate, but that's the life. So I think IT stocks have picked up because of the rupee conversion. Right? I saw Wipro also went up a little bit. So these are all some of the stocks that are at the bottom at this point of time. So this is one analysis that I did some time back. I think it doesn't. Yeah, I think. Let's see here. Yeah, this actually gives drawdown. Probably I'll spend some time on this next time. This actually gives when it reaches all-time high, what is the drawdown that each stock has gone through. I believe I have done an analysis on what happens when it reaches all-time low also. I think this one. Let's wait for some time. Yeah, here you go. So you can actually see if you pick up any stock, right? For example, let's say Trent. Trent is all-time low right now. Let's type here. So this is Streamlit. So let's take Trent. Trent is, as I said, all-time low. And then the analysis here is usually what happens when you buy something at the all-time low. So these are all the previous occasions what happened. And generally, when you buy the stock at the all-time low, so this is what which actually happened. It takes so much time to recover and other things. So this is what which happened to Trent in the previous occasions. When it reaches, not I think probably all-time low is not right. All-time low is always zero. My bad. So it got to be 50 week low. I'm so sorry. I think it's a. Let's look at TCS for instance, or maybe let's look at TCS. TCS anyway is a little below, right? Maybe Wipro will look at. Wipro is also 50 week low. Okay, I think it's yeah. So Wipro also same thing, but then so Wipro, if you look at from the all-time low again, it went to all-time low. I think that's what it says. It takes sufficiently anywhere from 6 months to 1 year to have some reasonable recovery. That's what which is actually showing. I think that's about it. And then we have, let's also look at CPR, not CPR, sorry, open interest. I think probably we would be a lot more interested on Sensex, but let's look at what our AI is actually saying for the Nifty alone. So Nifty, obviously, there is a massive resistance at about, I believe, about 25,000, 26,000 rather. Let's wait for this analysis to be done. All right, so it's a strong bullish bias in the current week, and then we also have the concentration around 26,000. I think that's both the call and then put, and there is a declining open interest in future expiries. I think that is true for both Sensex and Nifty as well. But I think, yeah, while the current expiry is a little bit biased, but then I think it says the next expiries are quite bullish in nature. So we'll have to see. Generally, I did post something in Twitter, I believe, 2 days back, I think. So generally, December month is on an average is positive. Out of, I think, probably if you look at last 20 years or so, 70% of the times December month is positive. The reason is towards the fag end of the year. Maybe some people wanted to close the positions and then maybe move the market up or whatever. Some of those things can definitely happen. So as of now, the potential resistance is about 27,000. But I think that's too far, my view. We also have some strong, I mean, obviously this is highest, that's where it picked up. But generally, we also have the strong resistance at about 26,000 and also some 26,500 for sure. So all these things would act like a good resistance. As I said yesterday, there is a RBI verdict is going to come on December 5th. As of now, my view is there's not any rate cut. It doesn't make sense to do a rate cut. But let's see what's going to happen. I think that's all for now at this point of time. And all right, so maybe I'll talk about the one trade that I took, which is Bajaj Auto, which we had seen earlier, right? So this is let me explain this trade, right? So the rationale of this trade was, as I said yesterday, One thing is there is a narrow C pair in the weekly, and then with the auto sales, at least the data that I had, registration data, I actually did this trade before Bajaj Auto announced the results, not results, the sales data. I looked at the Vahan data I had shown yesterday. It looked bearish, so I took the bearish position. But then what happened yesterday? It was moving here and there. So then, as a protection, I took the PE position, which is this one. As of now, PE, if I did not have the PE, it would have probably given about 82,000. But then because I had PE, there is a reduction of about 30,000 or whatever, a little less than that. Probably, no, sorry, my bad. 74 versus, yeah, 18,000 loss. But that's all right. So the reason is this has to travel from 9,000 to 8,600, which is almost I think 3-4%, right? I think I'm not expecting it to fall that much from the probability model again. So, but let's see. But then I will not be acting on this until we reach this tipping point, which is about 8,800. I'll not be making any changes. But beyond that, as you can see, the slope is going to increase, and then that's where I will probably get. Maybe I'll do some bit of a, what is it? I'll probably exit this and then also exit this and make some money out there. That's the plan right now. But otherwise, maybe I'll also tell you one thing that I probably did. I lost a mistake, but then this trade I took, which is idea. Again, the rationale of this trade is this idea. In fact, the results were bad, not results. The what do you say? The sales data for idea were bad. I think that's where I took this. But then it actually going up. Generally, this hovers between 11 and then here. And I also have bought some Vodafone stocks because I have this, right? So I have coverage until 12 because my stocks will go up. I'm not going to get into losses. That's in the other account. So, but if it crosses about 12, I will exit this and also that, so that I will not get into too much of a losses. So this is again a skewed covered call, I would say, and probably I'll do one last one and then close this. So CDSL is a proper covered call. I do have stocks worth of one lot, more than one lot actually. So I started with the 1720. This gave some money, and then I have exited, and then I now got into 1660. So I think that's where it is. I would assume it's going to give money. So right now, one may argue this is only 13,000 or whatever, right? So, but then if you generally multiply 13 multiplied by 12, it's approximately come to about 1,60,000 rupees, I think, approximately. I think that's a good money for a capital of, let's say, if I assume that I have these many stocks, right? So whatever is a lot. So I think that is still okay. That will give us about anywhere from 20 to 30% without sweating too much. I think that's all from my end, and have a great remaining day. Happy trading tomorrow, and be cautious. So tomorrow, I think the first week of Sensex expiry, right, for the December. So there could be some volatility. If you're trading, be cautious. That's all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.